Cutting a piece of plywood to put in the bed of the new gator that we'll attach the cube feeder to. It needs to be 51 inches this way. Got that marked. I always like to wrap the cable or the cord around each other before I plug it in so it's not as likely to be unplugged. Use a scrap piece to make a little table. Figure I got to cut off enough so that it fits in here perfectly when I've got the tailgate shut, and I keep the cube feeder from slopping around as I'm traveling with it. Needs to be 42 inches long. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, now we'll see if it fits. Like a glove. We had quite an ordeal getting the cube feeder switched over to the new gator I traded for. And along toward the end of this video, you'll see why it's really important that you do a lot of measuring and planning before the fact. But we got it working. We got to get it loaded, so let's get to work. Well, we finally got some really decent rains, probably about 4 inches over the past week. It has really livened the grass up. Didn't put a lot of water in the pond because we were so dry, all the rain soaked in, but maybe the pond level rose about 1 foot. It needs to raise about another 3 foot before it starts running through the spillway. But we feel really fortunate to have gotten that rain. Gator this morning. I'd left the windows down here in the garage. Evidently the cats got in there and left a half-eaten rat. Louis doesn't even want to get in it. You wouldn't think that a half-eaten rat would scare him off, but whichever cat ate the rat also pooped right beside it. He didn't want anything to do with that. Since we traded gators last week, I'm going to put the cube feeder in this one for the first time. The bed width was quite a bit different than my old gator. The sides are a little higher, so we're going to have to kind of play around and adjust it here to get it positioned just right. So we got the piece of plywood cut. We're going to bring the cube feeder out, place it on it, and then we'll scoot it around to position it just right before we attach it to this piece of plywood. The cube feeder is on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood from last year that fit the other gator exactly. I'm leaving it on that plywood and placing it on this one because I actually need to raise the height of it about 3/4 of an inch anyway. So the two pieces of plywood added together, I think, will raise the cube feeder up to the proper height that I need it. It needs to be higher so the tray that empties the cubes out will come above this. And I still think I'll have to take this rail off. I've got to take this rail off so this feeding tray can come down. It hits it right now. So I hope that'll be enough. It looks like it's going to be an easy task with 3 bolts to take off here. Every time I think some operation should be easy, it's not. I had to take it out again because in order to get this rail off, this one is bolted in. So I've got to raise the bed in order to get to that. So I didn't know that before I started. Won't take but a minute. Every time I think something will take just a minute, it turns into an hour. That's got it. Well, it didn't work. It'd be okay. Maybe I can raise it up with the forks a little bit, let this down, and then we'll just leave it down for the summer or the season. I'll be dang. The old adage of don't fall in love with your first idea has never been more true. I sure thought that would let it down enough, but it doesn't. I was hoping to have the cube feeder more in the center of the gator to help balance it a little bit, but when we bring it as far as this way, this lets down enough for the cubes to feed out. The only bad thing is we can't fold it up very easily. Probably thinking, well, we can just raise the entire platform, 4 to 6 inches. But here's the problem. If I raise the cube feeder 4 to 6 inches, number one, I can't get it in the garage where I store it at night. And number two, I can't get it under my bulk tank that I used to fill the cubes in there. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. I may try to adjust this up a little bit. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to take this chute loose here and see if raising it a little bit would cause me any more problems or make it easier. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to fold it up even if I raised it. The good news is I got 3 3/4 inch clearance here in the garage door where I park it every night. So if I put a 2x4 underneath it on its side, that makes it 1.5 inches wide. That would raise it enough. It'd still get in the garage. I'd still be able to use my cube chute. That's what we'll do. Okay, as luck would have it, 1 2x4 under each side lets everything operate just as it should. Lucked out again. Now, one final test. We know it'll go in the garage. We got to see if it'll go under the bulk tank for the cubes so we can fill it. Well, after making what seemed like about a dozen different changes and adaptations to get this old cube feeder to fit the new gator, including taking off the rail on this side so our cube chute would fold down, I think everything's finally working as it should. We were able to feed cows, no problems. Everything's great. Let's call it a day.